All right, so this time we're talking about the Delta Quadra, the last quadra. Got my music on. All right, so Delta Quadra. This to me is probably the pillar of society kind of quadra. This is sort of the backbone, in my view, probably the noblest quadra. I think it's easy to say that. Um, so first off, who's in this quadra? So we're dealing with the LSEs, the SLIs, the EII, and the IEE. LSEs are your ESTJs, SLIs would be your ISTP, your EIIs would be your INFJ, and your IEE is your ENFP, basically. So this quadra is made up primarily with the use of TE, NE, and SI. Okay, those are the four elements that are really valued in this quadra. Okay, all four types in this quadra are playing with those four elements and valuing them. Okay, so overall, this quadra, as I said earlier, is kind of a very noble. Um, it's kind of the noble quadra because of the fact that it is about getting things done in a practical way, being productive, okay, just making things happen, just get it done, um, and doing it in the best way that they can. So usually your LSEs, your SLIs have a way of going about doing things that's not flashy, it's not dramatic, it's just about effectively getting the work done. And usually the work that they're trying to do is your day-to-day stuff, the important things that need to get done. Okay, this isn't a group that is overly concerned with trying to change the world with big, lofty ideas, um, big flights of fantasy. No, this is much more grounded to reality. It's much more humble. It's much more dealing with the day to day stuff, the realities of life that need to get done, and doing it well. A quadra that's also very interested in helping others. Even the LSEs and the SLIs, which don't necessarily come across as like the warmest, friendly people. It's one of their downsides. They can be very dry, very just about getting work done. But in their heart, they want to progress. They want to grow as a human, as a spiritually, personally, they want to be better. And they want other people to be better. So they like to help other people get better. If they can find a way of helping you um, do certain things and be better and grow in your skill and your productivity. So they'll love to help you with that. Um, so they're very good in that particular side of it. The EIIs and the IEEs, INFJ and ENFPs, obviously they come across a lot more warm, a lot more emotional, a lot more feely, a lot more about personal connection. Um, their problem is that they're not always as good at being productive and getting things done and getting things done efficiently and well. They have to learn those things later on in life. But they too are very focused on helping other people, on making sure that people get better, that people grow, that people fulfill their potential. It's a very positive outlook on themselves, on people around them. It's a group that doesn't give up on people easily. Right? They believe that you can do it. They believe you can work through your problems. They can believe you have potential to be better, to do more. Whatever you've done, you can be better. Um, so they're not as quick and easy to give up on people the way that really all the other quadrants might do. Because of the NEFI combination going on here, again, they tend to see the potential of people. They tend to see all the possibilities of what a person could be, what you might grow into, what you could work towards. That if you want to do that, hey, you can do that. You can work towards that and grow into that and be good at that. Um, It's a group that's also a lot more forgiving in a lot of ways. I guess it's sort of like taking on the attitude of like, hey, you know what? Nobody's perfect. We're all human. We all do different things. We have different lives, different things happen to us, and we all have to kind of just grow from that. Remember where you come from. It's not always great, or we don't always have a good start, but you can grow in the right direction from there. Very open to different lifestyles and just accepting people who have different beliefs, different approaches, and not judging them much for it. You know, being open minded more to different lifestyles, different ways of doing it. Um, Typically, we'll see this too in like EIIs in particular, who become like actors and things like that, like a Johnny Depp or something. That they always like to play these wacky, weird characters. It's almost as if they're trying to play characters that are totally different than themselves, so that they can explore different kinds of people, different sorts of lifestyles. They can creatively in their mind play this character and step into the shoes of another person and another life completely. Many EIIs and your IEE can do that even in just in conversation or just enjoy other people, listening to other people. They may often be fans of celebrities or people that are kind of weird, kind of wacky, mostly because they're fun, they're different, they seem like authentic and creative and just different kinds of people, and they can enjoy that creativity, that difference. Um, and your SLE, your SLI, and your LSEs also can enjoy that difference. It's not as prominent as the feeling side here, but they will enjoy those differences too, and they'll kind of grow into that more as they get older. Um, so anyway, again, it's a very humble group. It's trying to really help people out a lot. This is a good group that takes it upon themselves to whatever they decide to do, they just do it. They want to learn it. They want to learn to be good at it for themselves, competent, and do what they do, and not have to depend on others. Not have to depend on others really to do it for them. They want to be good at it. They want to be self-reliant, essentially. Um, that is especially true for the LSEs and the SLIs. So, um, TE and SI. So let's talk TE and SI. So TE, productivity, getting things done, knowing how to get things done, and getting good at stuff. SI, about your own physical comforts, about the sensory, down to earth things, the day to day things that need to happen, refining and improving on your day to day activities and things, the physical experience around you, the things around you. So this could include people who take care, they're paying attention to the home, making sure the home is right, making sure that the car is right, making sure the things around them is right, everything is flowing and working. Um, the family life, everything is kind of flowing and is as comfortable as possible. Making sure that you've taken care of all the day-to-day things, the bills, you got a job, you're getting paid, you're doing all the right things to ensure that your family is comfortable, you know, you're tending to all those needs, all those day-to-day things are getting done. And then expanding further, whatever your job is, if you're the school principal, you're making sure your school is being run right and things are being tended to well and managed and organized well, the best that it can be for the students, for the overall school. If it's you're working in a hospital, you're making sure the hospitals work well. If you're a doctor, you're making sure your patients are getting nice care, you're doing the best you can to manage their issues, whatever, making sure you're giving the proper amount of attention and doing the job well. Okay, in a very realistic sense. Again, you're not trying to conquer the world. You're just doing what you got to do, okay, to keep everything functioning, to make sure that person's going about their life the best they can. Um, so this is not a dramatic group. Uh, the IEE might be the most dramatic-ish, but barely. And the reason that is they're NEFI, so they're kind of the more social outgoing of the four. They can sometimes look like an ESE or an EIE from other quadras, that they're very social. They can be very flamboyant. They could be that stereotypical manic pixie dream girl with purple hair. Okay? But at their core, they they're very FI is what they care about. There's certain people they care about. There's certain day-to-day things that they care about, and they want to get good at these more humble, simplistic things, okay, of life. I can hear some people kind of going humble, simplistic. What do you compared to betas or gammas who sometimes are like trying to reach for the stars? They're either highly idealistic, trying to change the world, or gammas who are trying to achieve the presidency of something. They want to be seen as the best and compete to be the absolute best. Um, Deltas are usually not as interested in that. They just want to do the best job they can with where they are, and that's it. They don't have these usually they don't have these desire for grandeur and to be the best and to strive to change the world and so on. No, it's much more pragmatic and down to earth. LSEs, for example, can be super pragmatic. Like the word pragmatism, LSE, it just pops up. Boom. Uh, because they can be so non-dramatic and so practical minded, humbly going about their business. This is a quad just not known to be exciting. Sorry, I hate to break it to you. It's usually just not an exciting quadra. Some people will even say they find them boring. Depends on your taste. Um, they're just not a dramatic bunch the way like betas are a dramatic bunch. Betas are always this is the or they're trying to change the world, or we need to get on board, all this stuff. Okay. Um, betas will use very flowery language and stuff like that, poetic language and things like that. Like this is the fate of the world to do this kind of stuff. Alphas can be very childlike and be running around playing with things and just trying to have a good time and want everyone to have a good time. And gammas in another very serious kind of way are like really trying to be somebody, being a bit dramatic about the seriousness of certain things. Deltas don't do that. So this is by far, again, this is the calm. Let's just get it done and be helpful to people. We don't need to be dramatic. No muss, no fuss. Simple little things to keep the wheels turning. This group is described as the latter part of people's lifespan. Okay, just the old man, people in retirement mode. So if alpha is the child quadra, betas are described as the rebellious teenager because they have all these great ideas, they want to change the world. Gammas are now like more serious, full-blown adults, middle-aged adults, working adults, those kind of things. And then finally you get to delta, it's described really as the more retirement like area now. It's not a very flattering way to say it, but I think the good takeaway from that is you think of somebody who's closer to retirement or around retirement, or they're whatever, maybe they're 50. It's somebody who's been around long enough that they don't have those dramatic ideologies anymore about trying to change the world. They don't have these views of trying to compete now to be the best, to be the champion, to be the president of the company. They're done with all that now. It no longer interests them. They put all that behind them, and now they're just in a very mature, realizing who they are. I know who I am and I know what I'm about in a mature way. I just want to do things now that get things done in the best way that I can for me, that I think I gave it my best shot, and I'm comfortable with that. And I'm trying to give back. I want to give back to society, to the community. Um, Also, almost like grandparents who they've been through a lot now. Now they're trying to give back to their children. They're trying to give back to the grandchildren and support them the best way they can with their wisdom and their knowledge on how things really work. Okay. That's probably the best way to think of deltas, I think, probably one of the more flattering ways to think of them too. It's not just this old man who's past his prime, but it's this person who's now wise, kind of knows themselves well, knows how to get things done in a effective way, but uh, without trying too hard. It's just doing the best you can for yourself, and trying to help and give back to everyone else as much as you can. That to me is very Delta, very Delta. Um, I said earlier, pillars of society, because these are people they seem to almost just want to very humbly go about doing a lot of day-to-day jobs and things, doing it well, but not seeking the grandeur, not seeking the rewards, the awards, the prize, the pat on the back because you're the champ, you did the best. Just doing the best they can, being your teachers, being your principals, being your doctors, being your bankers, maybe being computer guys, maybe sometimes computer tech guys, whatever. Being your counselors. EII would be, in my view, the most suitable to be like a therapist or counselor, and something in that field. Uh, so these are people doing those kind of jobs, trying to help others, trying to improve others, help others grow, and help themselves to grow. And they like seeing other people grow. They like seeing you evolve over time, that you've been improving yourself, you've been doing things, getting into new hobbies and new things, and you're growing, you're changing a little bit, you're evolving. I think I've gone on about this group. Because of the FI, this is a group that usually holds on to relationships well, holds on to friendships well, um, can be a group that has long lasting friends, people that they've known for 20 years, 30 years, people they went to school with back in middle school, elementary school. They're still friends with them. They still talk to them every now and again. And they enjoy just picking up the phone. Hey man, how have you been? It's been, I haven't talked to you in 4 months. It's, oh, it's cool. What you up to? And they enjoy that. They just jump right into it. It doesn't really bother them that much that they haven't spoken to that person or seen them in 4 months. Just pick it up and go. Uh, what else we talk about here? Very laid back group, very, hanging out, being laid back and stuff. Relationships with them, also very laid back. It's about non-dramatic relationships. They don't want, it's not necessarily about playing games and fooling around and kid like the way alpha is. It's not about these very flashy showy outings and date nights and things that betas may be into. um and it's not always so serious and heavy the way gammas can sometimes make it. It's much more relaxed, and that's kind of the right word. It's a much more relaxed approach to it. You like me, I like you, this can work. Okay, let's make it work. Let's just, and we go out and do fairly low key things, day to day stuff. That's not overly flashy or dramatic. There's no need for that. We don't need to overdo it. I guess an analogy there is like the difference between young people who want to do almost prom like stuff. They need the dresses and the outfits and the big bouquet of flowers, and they need to make a show out of their dates and things like that. This is a quadrant. It's kind of opposite of that. It's like, no, this is Netflix and chill, but we're actually going to just Netflix and chill. uh, yeah, so it's kind of Delta. um, some people, again, I know are they don't like this quadrant. Some people are going to say that. What can you do? Everyone has their taste buds. But this is probably the noblest group, in my opinion. Um, just not the flashiest group. So that about covers it, I think. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. So, as always, let me know what you think. Uh, like and subscribe. Put your comments in there, what you think. of the quadra, if you're part of this quadra, if how your thoughts on this quadra, etc. Take it from there.